And welcome into Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes. We got done with the vintage modifieds. Now we're going on to the big show. With weather pending, we're going to move those guys forward, but we want to get this 15th and final Rory Price Memorial in.
Interesting scenario for these drivers that are coming up on this, and there's a huge field of cars. We're going to start 26 sprint cars here for this main event, but running at this portion of time during the day, with the sun still out, a little bit of heat, but not a ton because we don't have particularly hot temperatures for race day here. They're going to be thrown with a little bit of a monkey wrench into their setup here. They've got to adjust for a racetrack that they're not going to be used to. They're going to have to adjust for a lot of laps on a racetrack that they're not really used to. It's going to put a premium on your setup coming out of the pit area. It's going to put a premium on how good your car is in the late stages of this race. It's going to be a fantastic RP. It's going to be a fantastic 15th and final RP, and somebody's going to add their name to the list of very distinguished winners. We'll roll through that after a little bit here, but first and foremost, we'll have a starting lineup coming for you.
And starting on the front row, your pole position, the 63 of Tony Soderman, sponsored by Pam and John Gidland. And to his outside, the 19X of Kyle Secord.
Row number 2, it's the 91 of Chase Getz, the First Line Systems Inc. sponsored car. And then it is the multiple-time winner of the RP in car number 14, Aaron Willison.
Row number 3 is made up of the 22 of Richie Larson, and to his outside, the 65 of Levi Rose.
Row number 4, Linwood, Washington's Todd Coleman, the 44, sponsored by Fleet Service. Next to him, Ron Larson, the 12X.
And in row number 5, the last winner here in the sprint car is the 95 of Reese Getz, sponsored by Great Western Transport. To his outside, the 36 of Jason Thomas, sponsored by Isaacson Dozing.
Another one of the First Line Systems Inc.'s cars, the number 9 of Jay Dishnu, starts on the inside of the next row. Next to him in the 16, it's Rob Grice.
The next row is made up of the 4 car of Greg Mittendorf, and to his outside, the 70 of Randy Dubois, sponsored by Geico.
In the 41, Thomas Richardson, the Woodinville Import Auto Repair sponsored car. Next to him, another one of the local drivers, the Granite Construction, number 12 of Cameron Neisinger.
Then we got the guy from down south, the 28 of Colton Nelson. To his outside, the winner of the second Rory Price Memorial, the 8 of Jake Mann, sponsored by First Line Systems Inc.
Starting all the way back in 19th out of Tampa, Florida, it's the 41D of Troy DeCare, the First Line Systems Inc. sponsored car. Casey Tillman will be outside him, starting 20th in car number 81.
And your fast time on the night, starting way back, is the 33 of Kyle Alberding, trying to do what his dad did at the last RP and win it. And to his outside, the 69 of Chloe Hudson, sponsored by Happy Valley Trucking.
23rd starter, Chase Sabato, First Line Systems Inc. sponsor number 19, Tony Offit, next to him in the 8A.
And rounding out the field is the double X of Russ Root, and to his outside, the 50 of Richard Hill.
26 cars, 50 times around. A lot of guys in this field who have won a lot of races. Only a couple of them who have put their name on the Rory Price winners list. We'll see if they can do it again or if it's going to be a new name entering on for the 15th and final time here at this race. It is the premier pavement sprint car race in the Northwest, the West Coast, you name it. We're glad to have it for you here on Home Track Heroes, and Tony Seidelman and Kyle Secord lead them through 3.
And coming off the corner, probably the loudest start to a race we'll have all year long as they roar down at turn number 1. Aaron Wilson wasting no time to get to the bottom and going to follow Chase Getz through to the lead. Saddleman losing 2 spots in the first corner.
Yeah, look, just open the door wide open and let him go, Tony Seidelman, as we are off and running here at the RP, and that is Chase Getz setting the field, setting the pace.
And Richie Larson in the back of the pack, wheel hopped over a car. We'll see if he's able to continue as they go down into turns 3 and 4 for the second time already, and just a big pack cars. And something did break on that 12 car. So we saw a little bit of a wheel hop just in the corner of your screen. So unfortunate break there for the 12 of Larson, who was so fast and is usually fast when he brings that car here to the track.
Well, for you who are stock car fans, usually these cars are running a direct drive system, a driveline style thing with a torque tube right down the middle. And the way that those sparks were kind of showering out for the middle of it, you think that maybe the up and down action of climbing a wheel might have knocked some of the bolts loose, and the driveline assembly up by the ball housing and such like that knocked the torque tube, and that was what was kind of dragging from the center of the sprint car. It looks logical in that situation. It's going to be an early end of the day for Larson. Tough break for him. He hauled the decent ways to run a lap.
Yeah, when you take note of some of the fast guys starting way in the back of the pack, there was all the qualifying races got rained out.
Right.
And so they went straight from qualifying, same tires, same car that they had to qualify, and bringing that right out for the race, which is a lot different than these guys are used to. They didn't get any heat races to make any final adjustments, and they were just throwing them out there 50 laps.
You look at a guy who hasn't been at Evergreen Speedway this year, and Kyle Alberding, who has been super fast both in the pavement. He's also been doing some dirt work down in Oregon. He is way behind the 8 ball here. You're basing your knowledge of your guys in the pits. I'm sure Dad Andy's down there helping him turning some wrenches, but man, starting 21st and having to come through this field of cars, even though you got 50 laps on this one, he's going to be playing from behind early, and it's not like you have an abundance of cockpit adjustable options in these cars. Yeah, you get your wing slider, you can bring it back and forth and such like that. There's not much that you can do to change the handling of the race car from a setup standpoint, other than drive it a little bit different as fuel load burns off and tires wear out or heat up one way or the other.
Exactly, and you got to save these tires for 50 laps, 20 laps more than these drivers are used to doing. So even our locals are thrown in a completely different scenario than they're used to. Normally only a 30-lap main event, almost double the distance, and a cooler day than they're used to, cooler temperatures than they might be used to. It's just a completely unknown scenario for a lot of these drivers.
Let's go a step further here. You had mentioned a little bit during the Vintage Mod, a very clean racetrack. As the process of drying the racetrack goes on, they knock off a lot of the rubber and stuff that is accumulated on the track and leave the surface just very clean, like you're running it over and you wouldn't have any crud come up on your hand, right? Well, these tires pick up all of that extra loose rubber and such like that. Sometimes it helps you, sometimes it hurts you, sometimes that rubber can be kind of marbly and will help it spin, but either way, it changes the track condition, and having a very clean track, different than what these drivers are used to running on, because they're used to going as the very last main event at the end of the night when everybody else has been putting their shrapnel and all of their debris and all of their rubber that's coming off their tires down on the racetrack. So it changes the way that your tire behaves over the course of the race, running earlier and having a very clean racetrack.
Exactly, and we had one lap complete and 49 more to go as Chase Getz dives deep down the corner. Aaron Wilson hard is outside as they battle side by side down into turns 3 and 4, and Aaron Wilson's going to take over the race lead coming off of turn number 4 with 48 laps to go. And if you've been to a sprint car race in the past few years at Evergreen Speedway, you know that 14 car is fast and he likes fresh air, and it's going to be working to his advantage here early on.
That's a scary thing if you're the rest of the pack and you're watching Aaron Willison now with clean air, no turbulent air in behind him, upsetting the handling of the race car, getting out and putting distance on you. As we're looking back in the field a little ways, the 22 is who we're watching back there. I saw Todd Coleman in the picture. Things are going to change early and often, as these are the fastest cars you're going to see in the 3/8. They're going to change positions a lot here, especially with this big field.
Yeah, you see Alberding there with the flame job orange car. He was hanging his right rear tire out hard, and you don't want to use too much of that rubber up early, but you also can't hold anything back, as before you know it, the leaders are going to be right on your tail end, and you do not want to lose a lap here at this race because it's no guarantee that you're going to get it back. You still see a bunch of smoke pouring off that 33.
Yep, you see him work his way underneath Secord, who's dropping back fairly early. Here is another look up front to Willison, and Willison's already eyeballing the back of the field. Aaron Willison setting a torrid pace 6 laps into this. He's already coming up into lap traffic.
Yeah, if he's able to put down as many cars a lap down as he wants, and that's going to be a very good thing for the 14 car come towards the end of the race, because then no one else is going to be on the lead lap to challenge him. But he also can't use up too much of his equipment early on, as it is a long race he's going to have to battle through. So I would almost blow up a little bit, as he has almost a complete corner lead over Chase Getz. It's really don't want to use up too much of your equipment that early on.
No, he's obviously taking the strategy that he just wants to put as many cars in behind him, lap down, and try to get as much distance. You know, one of the things in this division that we've seen here on Home Track Heroes this year is they have been prone to long green flag runs, and if that's something that Willison's been paying attention to, even though we've got a much larger field than usual, he might be banking on the fact that he's going to get a long green flag run and have a long time to try to lap people and put distance between them.
Yeah, you still just see that huge smoke screen laid down by Kyle Alberding in front of your leaders. You see the 14 car, he's catching up to that other orange car fast. That was your fast time, started all the way back in 21st, but they've been moving forward. Jake Mann, a past winner of this race, about to go a lap down, as he is right in front of your race leader right there, and Wilson's just not holding back at all, going to go 3 wide around lap traffic, and he's really just putting the pedal to the metal and not holding back at all.
Wow, if you're watching the ticker, he's lapping 17th right now, so he's already put 9 cars a lap down, although we've had a dropout. But yeah, he is just hammering the pace. I mean, we're only 20% in through this race right now at the lap 40 mark that we're coming in, and Alberding, the question's going to be, just like you said, is he abusing the tires right now? The other thing, is he abusing the brakes right now? Is he heating the brake system up, trying to do that? As we're going to flash back in the pack and get a look at some other drivers.
Yep, that is Troy DeCare in the 41, still just inside the top 10 right now, actually. So he's been moving his way forward steadily enough, but it is going to be a threat of going a lap down here, not too far, as he battles side by side with the 28 of Colton Nelson, who we've seen come to Evergreen Speedway and be very strong in the past in that 28 machine. So two very strong out-of-towners battling side by side inside the top 10 with a threat of being a lap down not too far in the rear view.
Yeah, DeCare started 19th, by the way, so he's already advanced a bunch of spots. He knows, I mean, you got to stay on the lead lap on this one. This isn't like the late model race where we're going to get a break right in the middle. This is a sprint. It goes nonstop, no pit stops, no live pits. You got to stay in the lead lap and be advancing, as there is DeCare clearing some of the clutter and trying to roll in further if we're battling in position.
And there it is, Alberding going a lap down to your race leader. So huge news there. Your fast time, the guy who is probably one of the favorites to win this race, a lap down, just 17 laps into this race. And another strong driver up in front, Casey Tillman, that yellow car. He's been strong everywhere he's been into the sprint car this year, and he's got the leader not too far behind us. Contact with the lap car, that is Mittendorf in the 4 going wheel to wheel with your race leader, and I think Wilson came out of nowhere and kind of surprised Greg there.
Yeah, good news. Everybody keeps it the rubber side down, but Mittendorf battling him hard on the inside, trying to stay in the lead lap. Is Willison going to drive up and around him? We're 31 laps to go, so we're 19 into this, and Willison is lapping. He's starting to knock on the door of lapping into the top 10 at this point in time in the race.
That is a crazy showing, as the yellow flag is going to come out for the first time today, and that is Jay Dishnu. Oh no, Jay Dishnu in the 19X, your second place star, C-Cord around in turn number 1. It doesn't look like too much damage other than maybe some wing damage, so we'll see if we can get a quick replay of this incident. Cars don't look too bad. Hopefully they'll be able to continue on.
Into the corner, we're watching the turn 1 cam. A little smoke show being shown by Reese Getz getting in and through, and it's going to pick it up at the very end. Secord went around first, and Dishnu noses into him here at the very end.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe just got a little upset on entry. Looking into turn number 1 right here. Love this shot. As you see the 19 just slam on the brakes a little too hard, and Jay Dishnu just nowhere to go. Thankfully, it didn't look like there was that bad of contact there between the two drivers. Hopefully, we'll be able to unlock the rear ends and get them pushed off and get them fired back up.
Interesting watching the path that Dishnu took into that corner. Is it looked like under normal speeds, he should have been able to turn that car down to the left. He might be fighting a bad push in the car, a push, or if you want to call it an understeer, where you're trying to get the thing to steer and come around a little bit further, and it just won't, as he noses into C-Cord relatively high in the corner. I would have thought that if that car is handling under optimal circumstances, he should have been able to make it underneath.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a lap car right in front of Jay, and maybe he was making a last-ditch move to go around him, and then there was a spun car right in front of him, so he really had nowhere to go. So it could have just been a series of unfortunate events there for Jay Dishnu.
We should also talk about the visual of being behind a car. You know, these are gigantic top wings in front of you that occupy a lot of square footage, and the visuals aren't always perfectly easy. Plus, as we've talked about on Home Track Heroes before, when you're in and behind a sprint car, they kick up so much air, they push so much air through with the top wings that behind it is turbulent, and your car does not hook up the same way it does as if you didn't have anybody in front of you. It's the opposite of stock car racing. When you get in somebody behind you have a draft. This works the opposite way. You get in behind somebody and it unhooks your race car, makes it harder to handle. So Dishnu might have been fighting that going into turn number 1.
Yeah, and some what you'll see right now is some of the lap cars are staying into the mix. That is the 4 car of Mittendorf. He's going to be to the outside of your leader, but he is still a lap down. So we're going to get him double filed up. We'll get the 1 to go next time by. Your second place car is on the inside of row number 3 of the 91 Getz. So he's got a lot of lap cars to work his way through. This caution came at a very good time for a driver I mentioned before, Tillman. He was thankfully not a lap down for his case. That caution could not come more perfect for him, as he was right in front of Willison. So it was a good break for some drivers, a bad break for others, like Mittendorf, who was now the first car a lap down.
So 13 cars remain on the lead lap as it sits, and like you said, 3 lappers in between your leader, the orange car out on the point of Aaron Willison, and then it's the black and green with white number 91 of Chase Getz, who sits inside row number 3 right now with your quick qualifier Kyle Alberting to get past just to get to your leader and try to race for position.
Yeah, so all these drivers able to catch their breath after about an 18 green flag lap run. As the green flag is back in the air, Aaron Wilson checking out. Getz trying to get to the inside early. A little bit of smoke from the 91. That's unusual going down straightaway.
Something to be looked at, too. If Alberting can figure out what he's doing, maybe get back up and pass Willison and catch a yellow, he can get back to the lead lap and start competing for position again. But I think Aaron Willison is just absolutely on rails here, as there goes Getz trying to make his way to the inside of Richardson, who's a lap car, to put him a lap down. And there's Chase's brother, Reese, sitting in position number 3, who's having a very good race. Again, our most recent feature winner with the Granite Super Sprints. Gets up into the 3rd spot, and we're approaching the halfway point of this main event. He's in a good position, at least right now, with still some race left.
Exactly. About 30 laps remain, coming up on 28 now, so about a normal feature event for the Granite Super Sprint cars left, as they're probably getting pretty tired right now, because they look up, they see, oh, I still have another 30 laps to go. That's a lot. We take a look at Casey Tillman, that yellow car in the middle of the pack. He's working his way forward after escaping from being a lap down, trying to use some of the lap traffic to his advantage, pick off a few more spots, as we have 27 laps remain. Aaron Wilson completely checking out from 2nd place, still not even in the picture. A complete turns 3 and 4 lead for your leader. So as long as he can keep the wheels underneath him, he'll be looking nice and good, as we got a battle for the 3rd spot. Cameron Neisinger, he's going to work his way into 3rd underneath the Panda, and he's going to take over that spot. That 12 car looking really good, probably the sportiest it's been all year.
All right, so Getz shuffles back a position. Neisinger forward, and we've got a car sparking it up. It's Chloe Hudson. Hudson with a problem in the Wedekind node number 69, and caution flag coming out.
Yeah, it looks like she spun out in the middle of 3 and 4, taking a look at it. Yep, there's through the grass, but able to keep the car fired up. So we're going to take a quick break and be back for the conclusion of the Rory Price Memorial.